Welcome to the here and now, everyone. So glad you're here with us in this beautiful moment. Had a great time in Atlanta for a few days. Did an event there Wednesday night. Stayed a bit longer, shared time with beloved friends, had some rich cultural experiences. Drove up back through the mountains yesterday, back in Asheville now. Creative love for a few days. When you're entering, please share where you're from. Thank you so much for being here. Wouldn't be the same without you. We're going to start with a little bit of a brief meditation today, and then we're going to get into the 5 principles that I use in personal coaching sessions, in my personal coaching sessions with my clients. I don't know if all of you are aware that I do personal coaching sessions each week, so anytime you want to delve into anything deeper here in a personal way, that's how you do it. You contact me for personal coaching sessions. And there's packages and there's individual sessions. And I'm going to give you the 5 principles that we work with. And these 5 principles make tremendous transformation. They are the catalyst for self-realization and self-actualization in the life of any individual from anywhere, anytime. I've worked with people from all over the world, from every continent, all kinds of people, all ages, men, women, all different walks of life. And these 5 principles, when applied, are what brings profound transformation, healing, self-realization, and self-actualization. So, with that exciting announcement, let's take a deep breath. Let's close our eyes, stretch the body, just relax the body, move the body wherever it wants to be moved. Relax the shoulders and the shoulder blades. Just allowing everything to be as it is in this moment. Allowing everything to be as it is in this moment. Resting into what is in this moment. Breathing into what is in this moment. Slow, deep breaths to the bottom of the stomach. Slow, deep breaths to the bottom of the stomach. Just taking a moment to put the rest of the day behind us, whatever's come before this moment. Any issues in the workplace, family, space, the roadways. Letting everything go that's come before this moment. Opening up a field to be fully present here together, to create a unified resonant field here together. To be a clear channel for the magic and miracles, the insights, inspiration, shifts in consciousness, opening of the heart that wants to come through us in this space together. Knowing that together we are exponentially more powerful than this shared field of presence that we could ever be alone. Take a few deep breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling love and peace and freedom and empowerment. Insight, inspiration. Exhale. That which no longer serves you is no longer necessary. Inhale. Joy, ecstasy, clarity. Exhale. That which no longer serves you is no longer necessary. Inhale. Creativity, bliss, liberation, communion, passion. Exhale. That which no longer serves you. Inhale. The fullness of all that you are, self-realization, self-actualization. Exhale. That which is no longer necessary. Inhale. The beauty, the power, the magic, the miraculousness of this moment. Exhale. That which is no longer necessary. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, open your eyes with fresh, innocent eyes, as if you're seeing life for the first time. Just take a few moments to look around the space in silence. Notice if things feel more alive, vibrant, colorful, present, here and now. And welcome with such gratitude and appreciation to be sharing this here and now together. The more that we sink and rest into this infinite ground of being, it's the essence of who we are. We feel the love that we are. We feel the peace that we are. We feel the freedom that we are. We feel the empowerment that we are. Inspiration, creativity, and our own innate genius flows through us from this ground of being. That's the essence of who and what we are. In other words, when we relax, our genius is able to flow through us moment by moment by moment by moment. When we're making effort, force, struggle, conflict, the body's tight, the mind is tight, the heart is tight, and this creativity, this genius is not able to flow through us. So it's always good to start with a little meditation to open up that space between us and to move into these 5 principles. So these are the 5 principles, again, I use with my personal coaching clients. If you're interested in sessions with me, just send me a private message, send me an email. Happy to have a consultation with you and see how we can support you, how I can support you. The first principle, and the most important, is self-honesty. Self-honesty is the most important principle. In fact, you really could just say it comes down to that. If there was only one principle I'd give you, it would be that, self-honesty. Self-honesty, if you go into it fully and deeply, will take you all the way. Take you all the way. It's the only thing that's really required. And we live in a society, in a culture, and this is pretty much global, wherever we are listening right now, that supports dishonesty but doesn't support honesty. For example, you go to a cocktail party, people are chatting, conversation. They don't want to hear real, deep, vulnerable, authentic, intimate conversation, right? Talk about the weather, these kinds of things. But to have a space where you can be really, fully, 100% honest allows you to deepen in self-awareness and allows everything else we're going to go into to open up to being. If you're not going to be self-honest, if you're not going to be honest, if you're not going to be truthful, then everything else we're going to go into is a complete waste of your time and my time. I don't like my time being wasted. So self-honesty is essential, right? And to have a space where you feel safe, where you feel you can be open, you can be vulnerable, you feel a sense of confidentiality, to really go deeply into what's true inside of you right now. And the truth, the relative truth is changing, it's evolving, it's moving, it's not the same. You're not the same now as you were a year ago, let alone last week, let alone yesterday. So the truth is a living truth. It's alive. So we're always asking the question, what's true right now? What's true right now? What's true right now? What's true right now? We're delving into the question, and through this sense of sincerity, sincere inquiry into the truth of what's here, there's an old saying which is true, which is the truth sets you free. The truth sets you free. So a liberation opens, and you start to be able to see yourself more clearly. And that leads us to the second principle, which is clarity of intention. So first is self-honesty. Second is clarity of intention. The more clear your intention is, the more clearly your intention is realized. Self-honesty allows you to get more clear on what your intention is. The more that we awaken in our consciousness, the more we're realizing the real power of our minds, the power of intention, the power of living consciously. The deeper you go into it, the more you realize the power of the mind is really all there is. All there is a collective imagination, a collective dream, and we can dream whatever we want with the power of intention, with the power of intention. So the question is, if anything is possible, what do you want to create? That's the question that we live in. That's the question that myself, my clients, students, if anything is possible, what do you want to create? Or you can say it this way: if anything is possible, what does the universe want to create through you? Or you can say it this way: if anything is possible, what does God want to create through you? But the point is, opening to a field of infinite possibility and listening for what wants to be created through you, through the unique channel that you are. So there's two things that limit us in this space, generally speaking. One is we're conflicted, right? Well, I kind of want this, but I sort of want that, but I maybe like a little bit want this, but that looks pretty good. So the energy is divided, it's scattered. When the energy is scattered, there's no clarity of intention that can move through us. Okay? Second, and definitely very common, is we have a sense of what we want, and there's fears, there's doubts, there's worries, there's a low sense of self-worth that holds us back from moving forward and what that calling is to be created, right? In other words, unconscious limiting belief systems. Unconscious limiting belief systems. So as we awaken through this process of self-inquiry, meditation, being asked the right questions, holding a field of depth of presence together, these unconscious limiting belief systems move from the unconscious to the conscious. When they move from the unconscious to the conscious, they're able to be transcended. And the energy is freed up for this clarity of intention to move through us, uninhibited, unhindered. Everybody with me so far? Principle number 3. Self-honesty got going on. Then I got clarity, intention going on. Now I need a vision and a plan. Right? So we're being really honest with myself, getting clear in my intention, and then a vision and a plan to move forward in my life. So I assist you with that, right? But the thing is, it's important to realize that the how comes second. The how comes second. You don't need to know a vision and a plan until you know you're clear what you want to create. Nobody knows how to do it initially. They figure that out second. You understand? So oftentimes we get in a state of inertia because you think, oh, well, I don't know how to do it. The how comes second. So first you get clear in your intention from a sense of self-honesty. This is what wants to be created. This is what I want to create. Then we create the vision and the plan to make it happen. Okay? Principle number 4. Welcome everybody, by the way. I'm seeing your hellos and where you're from, and welcome Karen, and I really appreciate all of you all being here with me right now in this space. Principle 4 is a very important one, and I think it's essential to my coaching practice, and that's accountability. Accountability, really important. So you're getting really honest with yourself, you're getting really clear in your intention, you have a vision and a plan on how to make it happen. Now what? Action. This is where the rubber hits the road, as they say. Action. Action. Taking action and having someone to be accountable to be true to yourself. In the essence of the alignment of your clarity of intention and the self-honesty within, which in this case is me. Okay, so you are being honest with yourself, you have the clarity of intention, you have the vision and the plan, and then you're taking the action every week, every day, every hour, every moment, every minute to live in alignment with the highest truth inside yourself and the highest intention inside yourself and the vision and the plan that's created for yourself. And I'm going to check on you and ask you if you are. And you know that I'm going to ask you if you are. So you know, let's say it's at Monday at 4 o'clock. If you know I'm going to ask you if you're living in alignment with your highest sense of self-honesty, clarity of intention, vision and plan that you've told me is true for you, it helps you to stay on track. It helps you to stay on course, because it's so easy to get distracted in this world. It's so easy to get distracted in this world. There's so many different things that can pull us in so many different directions, right? That to stay focused, we have somebody that keeps us accountable to what? To ourselves. Keeps us accountable to ourselves. Keeps us accountable to ourselves. So you're not doing what I want you to do, you're doing what you want you to do. And I hold you accountable to that, right? You being the highest calling, the highest potentiality of self-actualization and self-realization inside yourself. Principle number 5, and our last principle, is a holistic, integral approach. So in the past, there was a sense of things being separate from each other, compartmentalization. Oh, I'm a specialist in this area, and I'm a specialist in this area, and this area is just this part, you know. If I working on you as a medical doctor, I don't have to worry about your emotions or your feelings or your psychology or your work or your financial situation, any of those things, right? But as we awaken in our consciousness, what we realize is that every part of ourselves is interconnected. Every part of ourselves is interconnected to every other part of ourselves, and every part of ourselves made stronger makes every other part of ourselves stronger. Any part of ourselves made weaker makes every other part of ourselves weaker. So we're not working in compartmentalization. We're working with the whole self. We're looking at the whole picture, all the parts of yourself. An integral approach. Even if you're focused on just this particular area, we're still looking at all the other parts and how they intersect and interrelate to this particular area. That includes physical self, exercise, diet, rest and relaxation, mental self, unconscious limiting belief systems, moving them from the unconscious to the conscious, Emotional self, emotional intelligence, self-awareness in your emotional intelligence, your emotional guidance system. Your work / purpose / dharma. Relationships. Family, community, finances. Spiritual, in this case, meaning the deepest questions of life. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Why is there suffering? Why am I suffering? Is there a way to transcend suffering? The deepest questions of life, what I call the root of the tree. So you have a tree, beautiful giant oak tree, the branches and leaves shooting out towards the heavens, and the root are these deepest questions. And when these questions are clear, they're connected to the root, they're connected to the source, they're connected to the earth, and they're connected to this essence of life that allows the energy to shoot up in a clear way and allows all the branches and leaves to flower and bloom, right? But if that root is not connected, you can be giving all the attention to the branches and leaves and pruning them. But if you have a root that's not healthy, that's not well, that's not connected to the source, to the earth, then no matter what you do, the rest of the tree is not going to be able to flower and bloom. So we get that root connected to the source, the deepest questions clear inside oneself, and then we allow the entire beautiful tree, which is you, to flower and to bloom. And those 5 principles, what I've discovered, I didn't have them in my consciousness initially when I first started doing this work. They came over time. So those 5 principles I've realized are the 5 principles that allows anybody from anywhere to transform their life in alignment with the highest sense of their self-realization and self-actualization in this world of time and space. And then through that process of self-actualization, to be able to express who you truly are in the world, there's a presence here that's inviting you to realize who you really are. Who you really are. And that presence is always available. Does anyone have any questions or comments as we take a moment to be together? I also bring in meditation. Meditation is a component with my clients. Breathing meditation, guided meditation, silent meditation, which allows you to deepen into the space of self-awareness, to relax into the essence of who you are, to connect to the source that is you, to reconnect to the source that is you. When I say you, I mean not you in the sense of the ego, the illusionary sense of a separate self, but you in the absolute essence of who and what you are. So let's just be together for a moment. Resting in this beautiful energy. Realizing that nothing needs to happen. That there's nothing wrong with you, and yet anything is possible. We're in a field where nothing needs to happen. Everything is perfect as it is, and yet there's a field of infinite possibility. And there's no limit to what can be created. And that's what I support you in realizing. That's the state I support you in resting and anchoring in, which is the essence of who you are. There's a question which says, how do you know your ego is not sabotaging your essence? Your essence can never be sabotaged. The essence that I'm pointing at, this absolute essence of who and what we are, is that which is unchanging, that which cannot be touched, that which cannot be shaken. It's unshakable, right? So you can lose awareness of it and get lost in the ego, but the essence of who you are remains, right? So think of it like the sky. There's a blue sky out here. Can't really show it to you at the moment, but imagine this blue sky with some white puffy clouds, right? So when the clouds come in front of you, you forget the sky, right? You're lost in the clouds, but the sky remains. The sky is unchanging. The sky is the essence of who and what you really are, whether you realize it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you're attached and identified with story or not. And this realization is where the liberation comes in. This sense of unbounded freedom that transcends any thought, transcends any belief, transcends any emotion, transcends any relationship, transcends any environment, transcends any experience, and transcends birth and death. It transcends anything that has a beginning or an end, and it's always ever present in here right now. So if you want to work together, send me a private message, and I'll get back in touch. And I look forward to supporting you further on your path. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a reflection of the one and only infinite divine light. See you in the next now.